greeted by screams, and then came the bullets. See what Seattle police were up against in a call that was chaos from the jump. It looks like a letter from a federal agency, and it's totally fake.
In a nutshell, this scam really works by playing on people's fear.
We break down the scheme that's wiping out life savings with dozens of cases across Washington. It's no shopping spree, it's a crime spree.
Well, they were really good, well planned out, and they knew what they were doing.
How two women hitting jewelry stores are taking a page from a magician's playbook. Tonight in the Spotlight.
Well, good evening and welcome to the Spotlight. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Rose. We begin tonight with the search for two women wanted in a string of thefts up and down the I-5 corridor. Linwood police say they've been targeting jewelry and coin stores using slick sleight-of-hand tactics.
This surveillance video from the Zales jewelry store at the Alderwood Mall shows two women who detectives say got away with a $9,500 necklace on May 31st. Linwood police want businesses to see it so they can be on alert in case they come into their store. It's not just jewelry. Lakewood police say these photos show them when they use sleight-of-hand tactics to short an employee of $400 and steal a dress. The owner of Portland Precious Metals says they got him too.
They were really good, well planned out, and they knew what they were doing. They were coming here for that.
Michael Kukulis says they stole a 1-ounce maple leaf coin valued at approximately $3,400. As they inquired about coins and the workers' attention was on the merchandise, video shows them make their move.
And in the meantime, she was kind of palming that one maple leaf coin, and as she was pulling it up, her friend put her hand in front to block the view of her, and then it was really quick into her purse.
It happens fast. Look again as she slips the coin into her purse. Police are urging businesses to be vigilant and to call 911 immediately if these suspects come into their store. Thefts like this are devastating for small businesses. Kukula says it could take time for him to recover.
We work very hard. That's a lot of money. We work on very small margins. We might make $50 on a gold coin if we're lucky, and to make back $3,400 it's going to take some time.
Both of them have been arrested in other states previously, as you can see from these booking photos. However, detectives say they always use different aliases, so they don't know their real names. Both do have FBI identification numbers, which are issued anytime someone is arrested and fingerprinted. So Linwood police want you to focus on their photos, and if you spot either of them, call 911 immediately. It's a triple murder so evil it seems incomprehensible. 3 young sisters from Wenatchee found dead after they were reported missing. The discovery of their bodies triggered a manhunt for their father, Travis Decker. And the search in the wilderness of central Washington has drawn international attention. The effort to find Decker has been relentless. And as the manhunt expands, some resources are shifting.
Photos released by federal agents show the scale and intensity of the search unfolding in the Kolchak Lake area. The images show the U.S. Marshals Special Operations Group, Border Patrol Tactical Unit, and the King County Sheriff's Office searching for Travis Decker. The search started in Chelan County after Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia Decker were found murdered near their dad's abandoned vehicle at Rock Island Campground. The search expanded to Kittitas County, and while there appeared to be strong early leads, the Kittitas County Sheriff's Office now says there's no certain evidence that Decker is alive in the area. The agency says the chance of Decker having died in the rugged wilderness increases every day, and they're redirecting resources to find and recover Decker if he's dead. Cadaver dogs are being deployed, but authorities continue their search throughout Teanaway Valley, Liberty, Lauderdale, and Blewett Pass. In a statement, the Kittitas County Sheriff's Office said detectives have investigated, quote, dozens and dozens and dozens of potential sightings, tips, and leads provided by the public. While those tips haven't yet led to Decker's whereabouts, authorities want them to keep coming in. Chelan County Sheriff Mike Morrison spoke with us earlier this month and urged the public to be vigilant.
If they see something, say something. We're doing our best on the state, federal, and local level as law enforcement to do what we can to bring closure to this case. But we can't do it without the citizens that we serve and the communities we serve. We need those 80,000+ people here in Chelan County that are citizens, or the millions of people who come here to visit, to also be aware. And that expands out to our local counties, King County, Snohomish County, Kittitas County, and nationwide. Just, be aware, be on the lookout, and let's really put the pressure on it.
Authorities shared this flyer showing images of possible ways Decker may have altered his appearance, including renderings of him wearing a baseball cap and without facial hair. The U.S. Marshals Service is now the lead agency in the search. They're offering a $20,000 reward for any information that leads to Travis Decker's arrest. The number for their tip line is on your screen. If you see Decker, he should be considered dangerous. Do not approach him. Call 911.
Oh my God, what happened? Shots fired. Oh my God, what happened?
Seattle police have released body cam video of a shootout in the Washington Park neighborhood. It all started with a domestic violence call back on the morning of June 20th. It ended with the suspect dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. He's been identified as this man, Daniel Jolliffe, seen here in a Department of Corrections photo. When police first arrived on scene, a woman with a gunshot wound ran into an officer's arms. The Spotlight's Alejandro Guzman walks us through what happened next.
Right off the bat, officers were met with a chaotic and violent situation. A shirtless armed man quickly runs upstairs, leaving behind a wounded woman screaming for help. Almost instantly, as officers try to help her, they're met with gunfire. A 53-year-old man starts firing from inside the apartment, and he's not done.
He is reloading.
Second officer's body camera shows their repeated attempts to get this man to surrender.
Sir, Seattle police, we need you to come out with your hands out.
But they're just met with more gunfire.
Oh my God, what happened?
Shots fired.
Oh my God, what happened?
He's shooting out of this window and this door.
Officers pulled back and got the woman to the hospital. She's now out of danger and recovering. Meanwhile, shots continued as SWAT and negotiators tried to reach the man. Even a drone failed. Chief Sean Barnes says the man shot at it and began throwing furniture. The 53-year-old has a violent history, including a double homicide in the late 90s in Seattle. He served time and was released in 2017.
We do not have any recorded contact with him in the past couple of years. However, he does have a very, very violent past and a very violent history.
This incident highlights the dangers officers face when responding to domestic violence calls.
This is probably one of the most dangerous things that we do is go to domestic violence incidents. People have their emotions heightened as you're trying to give her help. You're trying to do what we do, which is try to save lives, give medical attention first. You begin to take gunfire.
For the Spotlight, I'm Alejandra Guzman.
While the cause of death was ruled suicide, police confirm an officer who returned fire did hit Jolliffe. That officer was placed on standard administrative leave as the use of force is investigated. Well, back in January, we told you about an arrest in a sophisticated scam. Zichao Huang is accused of wiping out a senior citizen's life savings. The 74-year-old victim in Snohomish County was tricked into buying $624,000 worth of gold bars. It all started with a pop-up on her computer, pretending to be from Charles Schwab, claiming her account had been hacked. A key piece of evidence in this case, the victim snapping a picture of Wang when the two met in person, as he posed as a federal agent. Wang has remained in jail on a $250,000 bail, but police say he's just one of many suspects running this same scam, hitting victims across Washington. The King County Prosecutor's Office is sounding the alarm about it. They showed us these bogus letters being sent to victims electronically, claiming to be from the Social Security Administration, or FDIC. Just like in the Snohomish County case, victims are told their accounts have been hacked, their money is in jeopardy, and they need to click on a link or call a phone number. We spoke with the chair of the Economic Crimes and Wage Theft Division at the King County Prosecutor's Office. Patrick Hines walked us through what happens when victims respond to these scammers.
And what the story breaks down to is the idea that an account or accounts that the victim has already been compromised. Their money is at risk. And the only way to safeguard it is to pull that money out of the account, literally in cash, put it in a box or use it to buy gold or something like that and put that in a box, and a courier will come to their house, pick it up and take it to the FDIC or the FBI for safekeeping. Now, of course, none of that is true. The courier comes and picks it up, and at that point it's gone and is in the hands of scammers.
At least 47 people in Washington have fallen victim to this scam, 21 of them in King County. In one case, a victim lost $870,000. Hines told us 3 major red flags to be aware of. The scammers will try to make you fearful. They'll create a sense that you have to act now and that you have to do it in secrecy. Linwood detective Brady Galloway, who arrested Zishao Wang, says anytime something out of the ordinary happens, whether it's a pop-up or a call, be skeptical and do what many others are doing every day. If you have any question at all about whether you are being scammed, please call police and ask them. Well, here's another scam going around Washington, and it's a text you may have gotten on your phone. The message claims you have an outstanding traffic ticket, and if it's not paid, you'll face a number of penalties, including suspension of your vehicle registration. The Department of Licensing wants to remind everyone that, unlike other states, we don't refer to our agency as the DMV, and the DOL would never threaten those kinds of penalties over a text. Just delete it. A former Microsoft employee accused of buying goods stolen from stores like REI, Ulta, Ace Hardware, Sunglass Hut, and LensCrafters before selling them on eBay.
I'm handing a copy of the information to your attorney, asking that they acknowledge receipt, wait for the formal reading and enter a plea on your behalf.
Your Honor, we acknowledge receipt, wait for formal reading and enter a plea of not guilty.
Equivalent or plea of not guilty.
Justin May is charged with trafficking in stolen property, first degree. King County Sheriff's detectives say they recovered almost $40,000 worth of stolen Yeti coolers, tumblers, sunglasses, and hairstyle tools from his Auburn home. In one documented case, loss prevention officers took video and photos as he met a man driving a van in a McDonald's parking lot, then purchased stolen Yeti coolers before loading them into the back of his vehicle. They followed him back to his house and took photos as he removed the coolers from his trunk. Investigators say his employment at Microsoft was terminated after deputies confiscated his company laptop as part of the investigation. Before he lawyered up, detectives say he told them he buys stuff from a lot of people and, quote, just sells the stuff as a side hustle. His trial is set for September 14th. Next in the spotlight, parents using fentanyl and putting kids in deadly danger.
Some lawmakers are clutching their pearls onto the sacred cow of the Keeping Families Together Act over equity while allowing kids to die.
We're hearing from one state rep who says Washington law needs to change to better protect children. It's a case that highlights a stark reality of the fentanyl crisis as parents expose their young children to the deadly drug. Earlier this month, a Bonnie Lake mother was charged in the fentanyl overdose death of her 15-month-old son. Carly Ely pleaded not guilty to manslaughter. The boy's father, Nicholas Tucker, was arraigned earlier this month and is facing the same charge. Cases like this just keep coming. Back in May, another Pierce County mother, Jordan Shank, pleaded not guilty to manslaughter in the death of her 5-year-old son, Brentley. He died from acute fentanyl toxicity. According to court documents, Shank described herself as an addict who used fentanyl twice a day, even admitted to using it while pregnant. We spoke with Brentley's aunt at Shank's arraignment. She says the state failed him.
There were multiple CPS calls made. His pediatrician called, I called, the neighbors called, family members called, and to no avail. I would like Brentley's death to not go in vain. I would like the state to make the changes they need to make to protect these children, because as of now, Brentley's just another tally mark, and that is horrific.
Cases like Brentley's are fueling concerns over Washington's Keeping Families Together Act that raises the standard for removing a child from a home. I spoke with State Representative Travis Couture, a Republican from the 35th District and a fierce critic of the Keeping Families Together Act. He has proposed legislation to allow the state to remove kids when drugs are being used in the home. I asked him about the challenges of getting that legislation passed.
I think one of the biggest challenges to fixing the Keeping Families Together Act, which has led to a tragic amount, a record amount of deaths of babies and toddlers in our state, is just simply getting lawmakers to clearly see the data. And then understand that we shouldn't have sacred cows as far as legislation or laws in our child welfare system, especially when it's leading to exponential amounts of child deaths all across our state. I think it's going to take some bipartisan work to really work on the middle ground solution as far as removing kids for their safety, and also getting those parents who are substance addicted the help that they need so that they can one day reunite with their kids.
Couture's so-called dead baby bill would change the threshold where kids could be removed from a home. He says right now that bar is set too high.
I worked on House Bill 1092, which is my bill to be able to remove these kids. And one of the problems with the Keeping Families Together Act is this barrier of imminent harm. as a standard to be able to remove kids. Well, that's an impossible standard. It basically says that social workers, law enforcement, pediatricians, whoever it may be, have to essentially have a crystal ball to predict when a child might die in a courtroom. That's an impossible, barrier to overcome.
When it comes to Democratic opposition to the legislation, Couture argues there is a misplaced emphasis on equity.
As far as it relates to an equity issue, one of the kind of core premises behind the Keeping Families Together Act is that we didn't want to disproportionately remove minority children from minority parents. But now the law has created this catch-22 where instead of removing minority children disproportionately, the state is allowing minority children to die disproportionately under the supervision of the state in the homes of parents who are abusing hard drugs like meth and fentanyl. Often the two are laced together. It's a tragic thing, and you could look back at many cases like Oakley Carlson or Ariel Garcia, or many of the cases that your station has even covered in the last couple of years. And of course, you can't prevent every bad thing from happening, but can we just try?
This past legislative session, Couture's bill did not make it out of committee, but he plans to introduce it again, and he hopes this time to build more bipartisan support.
So what I have proposed, and it's a bipartisan proposal that is starting to gain some steam, and I hope passes in the future session, is that we should be able to remove a child for their safety and then try to get the parents help so they can get clean and sober and one day reunite with their kids again. But also we should stop these crazy policies like allowing kids to remain in fentanyl-filled homes because the state provided a lockbox in order for the drug-abusing parent to store their illegal narcotics in. That is absolutely the wrong direction. And I'm not proposing that we go back to the 1980s war on drugs, but we have to have balance in our public policy and balance in our state in order to protect the rights of parents, but also to protect the lives of kids.
The legislative session ended in April, so it will be another 7 months before lawmakers reconvene. You can watch my full interview with Representative Couture on Fox13Seattle.com. Just look in the Spotlight section and click on the More tab. A special dedication ceremony was recently held at the Filipino Community Center, honoring a Seattle police officer killed in the line of duty. The Seattle Police Officer Memorial Project installed a granite badge to honor Officer Joselito Barber. He was killed in August of 2006 after a convicted felon wanted for new crimes ran a red light and hit his patrol car. It happened just 5 months after Officer Barber graduated from the police academy. The ceremony took place on what would have been his 45th birthday. His sister gave an emotional tribute.
It's hard to believe that Lito left us almost 19 years ago when he made the ultimate sacrifice. And there's not one single day that we don't think about him. So this memorial symbolizes not just how he left us, but how he lived with bravery and passion and an unwavering commitment to protect the community that he loves so much.
The memorial includes Barber's badge number 6897. His family and fellow officers hope this public space will help the community remember his service and carry on his legacy. Next to the Spotlight, we've seen it in sci-fi movies, but the future is now for some local law enforcement agencies. Drones are serving as first responders, and Redmond PD is showing us the program in action. It's happening more and more, law enforcement putting eyes in the sky, and it could be responding to your next 911 call. Some local police departments are incorporating the tech into their daily operations. The Spotlight's AJ Janavel shows us why officers believe drones are the future for policing.
An overdose in progress. A community member calls it in, but the subject is on the move.
In this particular case, the individual wandered off, was able to get to an apartment complex, and walks into a stairwell where the individual collapses.
With a drone in the air, Renton police say officers are able to quickly find the wandering man and save his life.
It's going to be the way of the future, where if you don't have a DFR program in place, you're going to be at a disadvantage.
DFR, or Drones as First Responders. Renton Police pilot tested the program and are hoping to invest toward a full-time team.
Got a good stolen function.
In Redmond, the department's drone program is already up and running.
And we succeeded in being the first full-time DFR program in the state of Washington, something that we're very proud of.
Redmond police have several drones on rooftops throughout the city, ready for emergencies. When a call first comes in, the drone can take off automatically and fly directly to where that call for service is without a pilot. And when it gets there, the pilot can then take control and help find exactly what they're looking for.
Or it enhances our ability to resolve situations much quicker.
One of the neighbors' cameras observed the subject walking.
Like in May, when Redmond police found a missing senior citizen who had wandered from his home.
Hi, sir. My name's Ty.
Matter of factly saved this man's life. If we did not have a drone, the outcome would not have been what it was.
The tech is quicker, avoids traffic, and gets the calls in half the time of patrol cars. It provides a bird's eye view officers on the ground do not have. And
Mr. Redmond Police Department, you're under arrest. You're not getting away. Make yourself known. We have you on drone. Please
takes a lot of the inherent risks for police out of responding to dangerous calls.
It's an incredible enhancement to our ability to provide service and to have safe outcomes for everyone.
For the Spotlight, I'm AJ Janavel.
Drones aren't just assisting law enforcement by air, but also by sea. In Pierce County, the sheriff's office has a new underwater robot. It can be used to search for missing swimmers, recover evidence, or locate vehicles that plunge into the water. The remote-operated vehicle is equipped with high-definition video, sonar capabilities, and robotic arms. It can be deployed in just 5 minutes and eliminates the risk of putting divers into the water. That does it for us tonight on The Spotlight. Until next week, I'm David Rose. Please stay safe.